I am Paige Robinson. I'm a graduate of Okaw Valley in 2018.
What it was like when you were a young kid?
From the time I can remember, I always had a ball in my hand. As soon as I could pick it up, it just stayed in my hands for my whole entire life. It was always something that I loved to do, and so I just kind of stuck with it and brought me here.
What about basketball do you enjoy so much?
I just enjoy how rewarding it is. It's a great feeling to see your hard work and dedication pay off in games and in practice. That's not always easy to do, so just being able to go out there and play the game that I love and have it give back to me just means a lot to me.
What makes you such a competitor when you were so young?
I just hated to lose. I always wanted to be number one. I always wanted to win. I made everything in competition. I think that came from growing up with my brother-in-law now, Kyle. We always played pickup basketball in the driveway, and I always played with boys my age, and I just always wanted to beat them and be that girl that always beat the boys. So I think that's why I was such a competitor at a young age. In 6th grade, I got to play up on the 7th and 8th grade team, I believe, but I was really small. I, of course, loved basketball and was pretty athletic at my age for how small I was, but it was just something I was really passionate about, something that I loved, and so that really carried over into our games and stuff. You know, at that age, not a lot of girls are super into sports, and so I was just kind of that oddball out, and it was just something that I loved to do. So.
What makes you such an iconic player?
I think just my love and passion for the game is what truly makes me the player that I am. I just love putting in the work and seeing the results, and so I'm just in the gym countless hours every single day to be able to play the game and be successful at it. So I think that's just kind of what sculpts me into the player I am today.
What do you credit your athleticism to?
A lot of people don't think I'm athletic, but I would say just I think growing up and like playing against boys and stuff and watching all these sports growing up, I think that's really what I wanted to sculpt my game around. And just being a girl that's like really good at sports is something that I always wanted to do. So just like watching the best of the best do it every single day is kind of what I wanted to make my game like as a female athlete.
So in high school you were about 5'9", and now you're about 6 foot. With the attributes that you have, what do you credit that to going up against really good competition?
Yeah, I think at the next level it's very important, especially on a professional stage and in college. I've definitely learned to use my length as I've grown, and I use it on the defensive end, on the offensive end, being able to finish and shoot over, you know, players that might be taller than me, shorter than me, whatever it is. So just really learning how to use my size to my ability, or to my strength and ability.
So from your freshman year to your senior season, what was the biggest improvement in your game?
I think just like growing into myself as a player. I started playing AU my freshman year, and so playing with girls that were very skillful and were great players that you knew that they were going to play at the next level. It was good to have them by my side and kind of help me. And then just like going through high school, I think as I matured as a basketball player and an athlete as well, I think I just realized what my game was, and so I just stuck with it and worked on it every single day. I didn't start until my sophomore year of high school. I was on varsity my freshman year, but never really got to see a whole lot of minutes. So my sophomore year was really the first year that I was able to play varsity basketball.
You were named Herald Review twice, Player of the Year, but you're the only one of the very few who have been even nominated for that. What does that mean to you?
There's a lot of great athletes that have came through the area, and for me to win it back-to-back times is an awesome honor to have. And I honestly wasn't really striving for that. I just wanted to go play the game that I loved, and it resulted in me winning it both years, I think my junior and senior year. So yeah, I'm super grateful to have had that honor and award both times.
You went down with a very significant injury in the conference championship game against Tri-County, and you still scored 31 points. What were the emotions like in that moment?
Yeah, I remember going into that game, it was super nerve-wracking because Tri-County was ranked in the state at the time, and I think I let my nerves get the best of me in the beginning, and I literally could not hit water if I fell off a boat. And then I went down with an injury, and the trainer was like, I think we need to take you to the hospital right now. And I was like, no way. This is the championship game. Like, I'm not going to miss it. So he taped me up, and I didn't even realize that I was as hurt as I was till my coach subbed me out, and he was like, Paige, you need to go see the trainer. And I was like, okay. But I think it really set in at halftime when my adrenaline kind of came down, and I just wanted to go in and win the game. I knew we had a good chance. Like I said, I hate to lose, so I was going to do anything I could to contribute. And ultimately, I think the injury helped me because I ended up scoring 31 points after that. So, yeah, that was a crazy game.
You had an incredible performance in the sectional title game. What was that like?
Yeah, we came into that game with a chip on our shoulders, losing to Tri-County in the conference championship game prior to that. And going into that game, we had a really good crowd. Our fans traveled really well. And it was pretty far away, so I wanted to put on a show. Me and my teammates wanted to put out our best game, and we knew that our basketball careers were on the line, and so we just wanted to give everything we had. And ultimately, I don't remember how many I scored that game, but I just had to do whatever I had to do to win the game, and I was just so thankful for the support there, because I think if they didn't travel for us and support us where we were at, I think that it would have turned out differently. But yeah, I'm just thankful the ball went in that game for me. Of course, I wanted first team All-State, but even getting recognized at second team is a great honor. And like I said before, I just wanted to go out there and do whatever I had to do to help our team be successful. And a lot of the times that was scoring the ball, so that's what I did. And my teammates and coaches and all of my support around me had all the faith in me to do that. So it was a great run for us, making it all the way to the state tournament, and that's something that I'll remember forever.
What type of an impact has Coach Brad Akers had on you when you were in high school?
Yeah, he came in my sophomore year. I had a different coaching staff my freshman year, but he came in and coached me sophomore through senior year. And I think it took us a little bit to get to know each other, and me get to know him as a coach and him to get to know me as a player. So I think it took us a little bit, but he had all the faith in me and the whole coaching staff, and everyone in athletics and all of my teammates. They all just had faith in me, and I wanted to go do what I loved, and that's what they truly supported me in. So yeah, he has made such an impact on my life, and he continues to follow me in my basketball endeavors to this day, and I'm going to keep up with Okaw Valley girls basketball for the rest of my life as well. There were a lot of accomplishments I had throughout my high school career. The one I'm most proud of is my senior year. Okaw Valley had never won a regional title in girls basketball, and I think my freshman year we could have done it if things went a little bit differently, but ultimately my senior year was when we were at our best, and my class was really talented, and we had younger classes that helped us out a ton as well. But going into that regional championship game, I think we played Central A&M, which they're historical. They're a historical 1A girls basketball program. And for us to go in and win that, and then continue to win and sectional, super sectional, and make it to state, I think that's what I'm most proud of. And I think being at a 1A school, you face a lot of adversity. You don't get, as much exposure, or you don't get the highlight like a lot of bigger schools do. And I think that that just kind of sculpted me into the person I am today. So I'm thankful that I grew up in the Okaw Valley School District.
Friday, August 4th, 2017, you committed to Drury University. What went into that decision?
There's a lot that went into that decision. Kind of like I mentioned, going to a 1A school, you don't necessarily get as much exposure. I played for a really small AAU program that didn't have the spotlight on them like a lot of other AAU programs did. And so I didn't get recruited by a ton of Division I schools. If they were either unsuccessful or just didn't have a really good program. And my biggest thing is that I wanted to go be successful at the next level. I wanted to be a part of a team and a culture that loved to win. And so ultimately, Drury University found me at an AAU tournament, and our relationship just really took off from the time that we talked for the first time. And I'm just glad that everything led me to Drury University.
You're the second all-time scorer at Drury now, but also you set the all-time three-point record with 271 threes, which is hysterical. When you hear those numbers, what's that mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It just kind of proves to me that all of the work that I've put in after hours and in practice and workouts and stuff, those all have just paid off and rewarded me with those honors. And I wouldn't have changed anything. I wouldn't have changed the way my journey took me to Drury University. Obviously, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those 4 years there. But, I mean, I just had so much support along the way, and ultimately, it wasn't just a one-man job. I think it takes a whole army to get those accomplishments, even though, you know, my name's under those accomplishments. It takes all the support that I've had along the way. And so I'm just thankful for everyone that's been by my side through it all.
So in high school, you ended your career with 2,125 points. When you hear those numbers, what's that mean to you?
I mean, it's crazy to me because I really didn't play my freshman year too much. So to be able to do that in 3 years it's crazy. I don't know what the math adds up to, but that's a lot of points in 3 years. And so I'm just so thankful I've been able to play the game that I love at this school. And there's been so much help along the way, whether it's, you know, coaches in elementary school, middle school, high school, my parents, my sisters, my entire family, all of my teammates. I mean, I could list names and go on for hours and hours, but just all of those people mean so much to me, and I couldn't have done it without them.
When did you realize you had what it took to play at the college level?
Probably my sophomore year. It was my second season of AAU, and I started playing with the older team, and my game translated well with the older girls that were more experienced and were getting looked at, and that was just kind of reassuring to me to see that I could play with those high-level players and have no issue. So I think it was my sophomore year.
But being National Player of the Year, what were your emotions like?
When my coach called me and told me that, I honestly thought she was lying because I literally could not believe it. Again, I keep saying that, like, it just goes to show that if you put in the hard work and dedication and extra long hours in the gym, it's all going to pay off. And ultimately, that's what it came down to, is just I wanted to be successful in my game for myself and my team. And so I'm just thankful that I got to pick up that award along the way.
In your final year at Drury, you were named All-American for the second straight year in a row. That's pretty impressive. Talk about that.
I mean, individual awards are nothing. They're never anything that I strive for. It's always, you know, what I have to do to bring my team success. And ultimately, I had a big role at Drury in especially my last 2 years. And, you know, whether it was scoring the ball or getting a stop on defense or, you know, hitting the open girl for an open shot. I mean, that all just led to my award of being honored with 2 years in a row of academic, or was it All-American? So yeah, I mean, that's just a crazy honor. You don't really hear of a lot of people getting All-American, so to have it 2 years in a row, that's pretty special.
Most valuable player. That's a big deal too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel redundant when I say this, but I just hate to lose, and so when postseason play comes along, I'm just gonna turn it into another gear and do what I have to do to help the team win. And I think at that time we were 5-6 years in a row GLVC champions, so you kind of have a chip on your shoulder and a big target on your back going into the tournament. And so I just really needed to be that player that my team could rely on in every sense of the game, and ultimately that led to me being the MVP of the conference tournament.
So COVID hits, and you transfer from Drury, 4 years there. Now you're playing 1 year at Illinois State, where you finish your high school ball. Now you're playing collegiate ball. What'd that mean to you?
It meant everything to be recruited by my home state again. I mean, from the first time that I talked to them, our relationship just grew and grew, and to be able to pretty much play in my backyard again for my 5th year, I think that the story just wrote itself out with that one, and I do not regret my decision whatsoever. If I could do it over again, I would do it the same exact way. So thankful I got to spend my last year at ISU.
And the 1 year there, what did Coach Kristen Gillespie mean to you, an impact person?
Yeah, she was just a person that was there for me on and off the court. You know, at Division I, a lot of times coaches kind of only care about basketball or care about that certain sport. But she was really a player or a coach that cared about her players and was huge advocates for them in the classroom, in their personal lives, on the basketball court, whatever it may be. And so she was so impactful in my life for this last year, and it honestly feels like I was at Illinois State for my whole college career because of how, you know, passionate she was about me and the rest of her players. So I couldn't have asked for a better coaching staff at Illinois State.
You scored 37 points against Wisconsin. That's astounding. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, we were a mid-major school going against a Big Ten opponent, and me, like, I'm game for any competition. You know, names don't mean anything to me, and so I had all of the confidence in myself and my teammates to go into that game and win it. And I just saw my first shot go in and then my second shot go in, and it just ultimately, like, kept going in for me, and my teammates were finding me in transition or the one more pass, and so it just seemed that I was in the right spot at the right time, and the ball was going in for me. So that was a really fun game. I'll never forget that, and it was definitely historical for us to be a Big Ten opponent as well. I just couldn't believe it. Being a Division II player, going to a Division I school, in that conference you face a lot of great competition. There's a lot of great players, and for me to be named the newcomer of the year, you know, you see a lot of transfers come in from Power 5 schools to play in the MVC just because it's such a great conference. So for me to be, you know, a 1A kid going to a Division II school and then to a Division I school, it was just such a great honor to receive newcomer of the year this year. Yeah, to hear my name called as the Jill Hutchison Athlete of the Year was a great honor. I couldn't believe it, just because there's so many great athletes at Illinois State. And, you know, Jill Hutchison is a trailblazer for the game of basketball on the women's side, and she's been, you know, a huge advocate for us this year. She'll come back and talk to us, and she's just really one of my biggest role models in the game of basketball, just because she's just amazing. She's a Hall of Famer, just an amazing woman that knows the game of basketball really well. And so for me to be named that that honor this year was huge for me.
The teams that didn't recruit you and the talent that you brought to the table, what did you feel about that?
I really have no hard feelings for anybody, but I almost kind of wanted to go out there and prove to everyone that, you know, I can do it, and I did do it. You know, everything happens for a reason, and so I'm just thankful I got 4 years at Drury and then 1 year at Illinois State, and honestly, it was the best 5 years of a college career for me, and I couldn't have asked for a better way to go out than here at Illinois State this past year.
Playing in the 3-on-3 competition down in Houston when the Final Four was going on, you really showcased some serious talent down there. What was that event like for you?
Yeah, it was a really fun experience. I met a lot of great players from throughout the country, and I still talk to some of them today. So, I mean, it was just a really cool experience to be able to play, you know, a different type of basketball with different girls that you've never played with before, and play 3-on-3. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's continuous. It was a lot of work, but no, it was a really cool experience. I'm glad I did it, and it was awesome that it was, you know, televised on national TV, and it kind of got my name out there even more.
Well, Paige Robinson is a big-time scorer. Another one of those stories that we've seen a lot here at 3x3U.
Offensive rebound, though. Regains possession. Will step back. Don't do him like that. Paige Robinson from Illinois State. You mentioned 18 points per game.
She scored over 2,500 points in her career.
Paige Robinson, though. Watch this on the drive. Brittany Davis on her hip. Whoop.
This creates so much space. Step back, getting away, getting back, and drilling it from the top of the key. A really nice season at Vanderbilt.
Well, the contact doesn't matter. Robinson able to finish up over the top.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anybody coming in, so just meeting everybody, it was so fun, and it was fun to get this dub, so.
Talk me through draft night. What was it like? What were you feeling in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it was super nerve-wracking going into draft night. Whether I was going to be drafted or not was kind of up in the air. It was 50-50. I had a great conversation with the Dallas Wings prior to the draft, and, you know, of course you're going to want to hear your name called on draft night, and so either way, even if my name wasn't called, I was going to be okay because I could be invited to a training camp. I could still go overseas and play the game that I love. But of course, like, I wanted to hear Paige Robinson come across the draft board, and ultimately, in the 31st pick, I was picked. And so I'll just never forget that moment. It's something that I'll keep with me for the rest of the time.
Let's go!
So you made history through the Okaw Valley program. You were the first Okaw Valley player to be drafted. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great honor to have, and I just want to be, you know, that advocate that shows that you can come from a 1A school and make it to the collegiate level and now the professional level. You know, my story is just one of many that proves that you can do that and come from a really small town and make it all the way to the professional level if you stick with it.
You had a 0.008% of being drafted. When did it sink into you that you were actually that name to be called?
I mean, leading up to the 31st pick, I knew what picks Dallas had. But, you know, you're never going to know until you actually hear your name. And for me to just come from Bethany, Illinois, a town of 1,200 people, and to hear my name called in the WNBA draft, I mean, it's just so unreal. You don't hear that too often. So for it to be me, it's just a great honor to have. Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that I had my parents there with me to celebrate. And, it just felt like all of the hard work I'd put into the game was finally like paying off. You know, we've talked about so many accomplishments throughout my college career, but for me to be drafted into the WNBA, I mean, that just like is the biggest accomplishment that I have ever had to this day. And so just to be able to celebrate that with my family and my coaching staff, that was just an unreal experience. It was just so surreal to me. I couldn't believe all the support that came out on Wednesday, May 3rd for Paige Robinson Day. I've had so much support throughout, you know, my time at Okaw Valley and my time at Drury, and now my time at Illinois State. And for everything to just kind of come full circle and be able to celebrate my basketball career this past Wednesday, it just really put things into perspective that, you know, the Okaw Valley community is always going to support you no matter where you are and how long you've been out of high school. It's just a great community to be a part of, and so I'm forever grateful that I grew up here.
Giving Paige today as a gift. The other jersey will be hung in the front lobby of the high school gym in honor of Paige and all her accomplishments. When Paige was growing up, she was a Timberwolf. When she went to Drury, she was a Timberwolf. At ISU, guess what? She's still a Timberwolf. When she was drafted by the Dallas Wings, she's still a Timberwolf. Paige, you'll always be one of our own, no matter where this journey takes you. Always remember that you're a Timberwolf. We're proud of you, and everyone out here supports you. Let's give her a standing ovation for that. Thank you, everyone, so much for the support of Paige. We know she's going to do great things. Thank you all for coming.
What do you think your legacy is through the Okaw Valley program?
Obviously my basketball accolades kind of go to show, you know, what I've done here at Okaw Valley, but I think the other side of it is how good of a person I am and how, you know, good of a student I was in high school and throughout my whole career at Okaw Valley. So I just, of course, I want to be remembered as a great basketball player here, but as a great person and student as well. My biggest role model is definitely my dad. You know, he came from Bethany as well. Obviously went to Bethany High School, went to Illinois Wesleyan. Our stories kind of line up. It's crazy how similar they are. But he's just the hardest worker I know, and I'm just glad that I've always got to look up to him.
Your dad was drafted by the Cubs, and he was in minor leagues. So I'm sure you credit some of your lessons to him, but being a part of a family now with a father and now you, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool for, you know, me to be drafted, but for my dad to be, you know, former professional athlete as well. He's just such a great supporter in my life, and him and my mom have just supported me throughout this whole journey, and just having him to, you know, bounce back on and him being through that whole experience, it's good to have him by my side and kind of get some advice here and there. So he's just a great advocate for me, and yeah, I'm super thankful that he's been through that journey as well.
Looking back on when you were young to now, what would you tell the young Paige to current?
Young Paige, I would probably tell her to continue to stick with it. You know, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of hours spent, but ultimately everything's going to pay off, and you're going to make it way bigger than you ever thought you would. So just stick with it, continue to love the game, and thank everyone along the way that supported you, because you wouldn't be where you are at without them.
Everybody who has helped mold you into the person you are today.
Yeah, I mean, the Okaw Valley community, of course, like I mentioned, has just been such a great support system for me and my family, and there's nothing I can do to pay back to everyone that's helped me along the way from the OV community. And then, of course, my family, they're my biggest supporters. My parents, you know, they come to every single game. They are there by my side through everything. My sisters, their husbands, you know, my nieces and nephews, my aunts, my grandmas, like everyone. I could go on and on for hours, but yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't be where I am today without them, and there's nothing I can do to pay everyone back for all the support they've given me and have supported me along my basketball journey.
The second year of our Athletic Hall of Fame. Tonight's Hall of Fame inductee needs no introduction. I feel like I just did this 2 days ago. But Paige is not only one of the greatest athletes to come through our school, but also one of the greatest to ever come through Central Illinois. Paige grew up right here in Bethany across from the elementary school. Paige, I'm beyond proud of you. I've known you for a long, long time, and I've known your family for as long as I can remember. I know how proud they are of you and how much they love you, as we see them sitting here in the front row today. Thank you not only for all you've done for our school, our community, and your family, but thank you for letting me watch you play basketball. At this time, I'd like to introduce this year's Okaw Valley Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Ms. Paige Robinson.
It's truly an honor to be inducted into the Okaw Valley Athletic Hall of Fame. It's so reassuring to see that hard work and dedication pays off. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for me growing up in the Okaw Valley School District. The support that this community has given me, other athletes, and students is unmatched. This award just proves that if you dedicate your time and energy to something you're passionate about, it will pay off. I'd also like to thank everyone who has been by my side through this journey. Each and every one of you has put so much faith in me to support me through my basketball endeavors. So again, I'd just like to express how thankful I am to receive this honor tonight.
I think the biggest excitement is just being able to continue to play the game that I love. I definitely don't want to give it up anytime soon, and so I'm just going to continue to work and put the extra hours in and watch my game grow and expand and become a better player every single day, and hopefully, you know, ultimately make it to the WNBA on a roster spot. But yeah, I'm just excited for it.
Paige, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your time. We wish you the best of luck, and I know Okaw Valley is very proud of you, just like I am. Good luck to you in your future.
Thank you.